Hey guys, welcome back to the Battery Podcast.
Today, we will be discussing mentors and mentorship.
And the importance of having a guide for your life, pretty much.
Pretty much.
You want to start or should I go?
Go ahead.
Cool. Well, I recently just started getting mentored, or I met up with some successful people in life, and I'm just like, I don't want to be where I am the rest of my life. And it's obviously clear that if I don't want to be stuck where I am, don't keep doing what I'm doing now. And these people seem to know what they're doing, so I'm just gonna, learn as much as I can from them.
Learn as much, yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've only been around them for like the last month, but it's a super confident and nice feeling to know that,
you're on your way.
I'm on my way.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And keep in mind, chances are you're still going to make some mistakes.
No doubt.
In the future. But it's good to basically have that, the vision, at least a good vision to have, because I know I'm starting to develop my 2-year plan right now. And I'm having having my own vision and stuff. But how did you meet these people?
The internship that I was doing, one of the trainers there met them, and me and the trainer had a pretty good relationship from the start. We just started talking, and we're like, I just told him about the podcast, how me and you were trying to do our own thing. We're trying to build our own business just to get out of where we are now.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's awesome. I've been talking to people. They've been helping me out a lot. What's funny? You remember Chansey? Do you remember Chansey and Brandon?
Oh yeah. She's the powerlifter chick, right?
She's a
physique.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember her. Yeah.
And her boyfriend Brandon, they're getting married soon.
Oh, good
Congrats
for them.
To them. Shout out to them.
Yeah, congratulations. Been a while since I've seen them.
No, I ran into them randomly last Saturday at a convention that we went to. It was like a group meeting, and we all met up. Yeah. And randomly, I was just waiting for the restroom to open up, and Brandon was like, "Yo, what's good?" And I was like, "No way!" It was a cool scene to happen.
Yeah.
Because funny thing is, I explained to the guy that got me in. I'm like, "Yeah, dude. I actually met a couple people." A year ago, when I was still hanging out with him a lot more, because I used to see him at the gym a lot. But when I saw them, I was just explaining to the dude that got me in that I've known other people that have met successful people, and I kind of like asked for mentorship, and I didn't realize that it was going to be the same or a similar thing. So when we met up, it was just like it all just clicked.
Yeah.
And like, oh, this is what you were talking about back then, because she was the same thing. We met some successful people, and we just kind of pursued it.
So where are they now?
Chansey?
Yeah.
They're just working on their business right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how's it going? Like,
good.
What is it, fitness related?
No, not really.
No?
It's it's kind of product, selling product, but so being your own best consumer / prosumer, which is you buy your own product, you sell that product to people, and you pretty much try to get people to do the same thing as you. And it sounds weird. I know it sounds weird. I'm butchering it, guys. But when you hear
pyramid, pyramid scheme almost.
It does, and I completely understand, because I explained that to them. Like, I went in there, I'm just like, yo, I can't get this thought that it's just a pyramid scheme out of my head. And every time I go, it just reinforces that it's not.
Okay.
And I've met a bunch of successful people that are from there.
Yeah.
So
I mean, in this case, you do want to put 2 and 2 together. Now, it's different than seeing like a Tai Lopez ad.
No, yeah,
you know what I mean. The Tai Lopez ad is like it's a Tai fucking Lopez
Exactly.
ad. Like, you know what the fuck that is, you know? He's
knowledge.
yeah. No, like you're actually interacting with people physically.
No,
like, you're literally
that's a big portion of it.
I think
you have to.
And you know what's so funny? That makes a huge difference. Seeing it online and whatnot versus being around these people in person physically and seeing how they work and what they actually do. You know, and so yeah, and if you know if the method works, I mean, why not? You know,
I'm giving it a chance. I'm gonna go full blast with it. I have
you have
nothing
to
but
lose.
high hopes. Exactly.
Yeah, you
I'm
have nothing
young.
to lose.
I have nothing but high hopes for this, and I'm just super glad that I've met these people and been able to just start learning from them.
Well, yeah, and let me know, because, like, you know, okay, so for those of you,
I haven't even explained it to you that much, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because so everybody, if you guys assume that Luis and I hang out all the time, that's not the case at all. Like, this is our time that where we basically come together for the, you know, during the week. Like, we see each other couple times during the day, but for the most part, him and I both have radically different lives and, you know, pursue radically different things. It's just funny because, like, we have the same mindset, we just happen to be doing different endeavors. So this is news to me. So I definitely want to know more. Just like I said, just let me know if there's anything I can do in terms of maybe possible resources. I think with me is, like, I have a different kind of mentorship lately. Not in a business sense, more in a spiritual sense. So
that's a good mentor to have.
Yeah, exactly. And so this guy whom I've known for a year and a half now. I met him last year, and okay, so let's reel it back a little bit, because up until that point, so there's this. Okay, let me start over. So there's this. Let me use an analogy that I've heard previously. So there's this Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu professor by the name of John Danaher. Those who are, you know, well versed within the Jiu-Jitsu world know who this man is very well. He's the head coach of Renzo Gracie's academy, and he has his own team called the Danaher Death Squad. That, you know, and he's an elite coach. And so he once said this, and I quote, "I'm a firm believer that one person can come into your life for a short period of time and have a massive impact." So he was referring to when he met Dean Lister, and Dean Lister is another great American grappler who popularized the heel hooks and the heel hook system. That's how Danaher ended up developing the system, was by watching Dean Lister use his heel hook system during a seminar they did over at Renzo's in New York. Anyway, the point is that, there can be one person that can immediately affect your life in a short amount of time. And so for me, that was my good friend, he's a former co-worker of mine who I'm still friends with. I just met with him last week, and his name is Jose, and he's gotten me to see things in such a radically different way. Spiritually, he's gotten me to think differently. Again, one of those ways to think a bit more abstract. And he told me that he has convinced me that this isn't the only life we have. He has convinced me that what we do here matters, but it's not the end all be all. There's something beyond this. I know we take just a radically different shift in tone here, but if there's one thing that I stress here is being honest.
Yeah,
honesty.
What's crazy is that a couple months before I started listening to Bold and Determined, I would have considered myself atheist.
Yeah,
and not spiritual at all. Like, just I thought it was bullshit. I mean,
yeah.
In my head, I thought it was just fucking gibberish, and
Yeah.
you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Live your life and then go on, you know. But I mean, the more I started listening, the more it started making sense.
Yeah.
And I mean, I never believed in God, but I always, up until recently, believed that the Bible was just a bunch of nonsense. Mainly because I was more realistic.
If you take it literally,
I took
of course,
it exactly.
It makes it just But
I was a dumbass and took it all literally, and realized that when they were talking about the fucking 600-700-year-old people, I'm like, you guys are full of shit. I don't believe anything you guys are saying.
Right.
Like, that was my mentality. But when I listened to Roland Sermon, Jordan Peterson, like, people actually analyze the text.
They analyze the text, and they utilize it the way it should be.
Exactly, and it just shows that people from the past weren't stupid, like how most of us think today. Or like most of us today think people from the past were fucking imbeciles.
Yes,
which is
it's an arrogant way to think.
Very arrogant,
incredibly arrogant. It's incredibly arrogant to think that everything that's being said is, particularly in the Bible, is incredible nonsense when it's not true. Most of those people haven't even actually read the Bible.
Exactly.
Let alone actually taking the time to truly understand not just the what the text is, but what it means. So
now we're not trying to push.
Yeah, we're not pushing it. Yeah, it sucks that let's make it perfectly clear. We're not pushing anything on you or any sort of belief systems on you. I have my own personal belief systems. I keep it to myself. It's more private. I don't, I'm not evangelical about it. It's just my own personal beliefs, and I go about my day with it. So that has to be addressed.
I've learned
that there's more to it.
There's more to it, and it's incredibly ignorant to dismiss it.
Exactly. And here's one that here's a way that I was able to kind of really understand is like, this. I read a lot of books. I've read a lot of I don't like calling them self-help books. I consider them more self-improvement books. And I've read there's books on everything pretty much. I've read personal training books. I've read business books. I've read mindset books. There's this book that I recently bought. It's not really a book. It's considered a field manual. That's what it's called. It's called Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willink. And it's a field manual. And of course, I've read other books that are radically similar to this one as well. This one's just more compressed into just practical into practical
you don't have to look into it to understand it.
It's exactly. And so
it's just straight up.
But I read this, and I read recently I read the book of Proverbs in the Bible, and I thought the book of Proverbs, everything I've read from all these other books, everything from Gorilla Mindset to Discipline Equals Freedom, all these principles that I've learned of discipline, of delayed gratification, all these principles, they all stem from Scripture. Like I said, particularly the book of Proverbs is the one that I've come to realize is true. So, for example, there's this one verse is 25:28, which is, if a man has no control over his spirit, he is like a wall. He's like a city without walls to protect it. And I thought to myself, yeah, that basically means you need to be spiritually, mentally, and physically strong. You have to be strong in all aspects, not just one. Physically, yeah, you can work out, but I know a lot of guys that are physically strong but are mentally weak. It takes a lot of work to strengthen all aspects of your life, including your mind, your body, and your spirit. And I think my spirit is something I ignored for a long time. I ignored that. I
ignored it too, just because I thought it was bullpucky.
Yeah, no, and we have a younger brother, and he's in that mindset.
Yeah,
I've talked to him, and whenever I talk to him about this, I don't ever talk to him about it. I just kind of happen to mention it, and he doesn't dismiss me. he kind of gets a little uncomfortable because he's not a very spiritual person at all whatsoever. Physically fit, just like me. Mentally, I'd say he's pretty tough. I'd say he's relatively resilient.
He's still a youngling, so he's an idiot. But
yeah, exactly. But
I'd say he's pretty well out compared to what we're in his age.
Oh, absolutely. But that's because we showed him, and so I'm making sure he doesn't make the same mistakes that I made, and he's doing really well for himself compared to where I was when I was his age. That being said, he kind of gets a little uncomfortable with when they speak spiritually and biblically and all this, and but I tell him, listen, I know you don't get it now, but I was very much like you when I was your age. I was a lot like you. So look, continue on your path. That's fine. I'm not gonna force him to think a different way that I want him to think. All I've done is given him the best advice I can, and allow him to take everything that I've given to him. If he takes it, he takes it. If not, well, that's fine. So far,
he's just mentoring him.
Yeah, exactly. Very much mentoring him, and for the most part, he's taken most of my advice. And I asked him, like, has there been any advice I asked him one day, not too long ago. I asked him, is there any advice I have given you that has been bad advice? I asked him that honestly and earnestly because I wanted to know. He said no. He told me, no, there is nothing you have ever told me that was wrong. Everything you have told me was right, and I've listened to everything you said, and so far I've fared relatively well for myself, considering my age, because he's young. He's 18. Yeah, he's 18, and he's already doing so much better than I was when I was his age. He has a bit more of clarity, mental clarity. Like he understands things a little bit better. He has a more practical worldview than I did when I was his age. Again, I had to get strung through the mud. Like, I had to learn the hard way.
He doesn't get mad if you assume his gender?
Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't do that. Yeah. He also knows which bathroom to use, too. Yeah. Which is, thank God. He knows which bathroom to use, and he doesn't eat soap. How amazing is that?
Was that a problem you had when you were 18?
I didn't have this problem when I was 18, but, I mean, apparently others did, according to the internets. Anyway, basically, that's another thing I've been strengthening is my my spiritual side. And I have my ways, but I encourage you to, because I believe there is a soul. I believe everybody has a soul. And the soul is very much like a muscle. You have to work at it to strengthen it, to be fully complete. If you don't believe in a soul, chances are you're. I mean, most of the people who I've met who don't believe in having a soul, they're cold, calculated people, and there's a balance that you need to find. You do need to be, in certain aspects of life, you do need to be a bit cold. You need to be cold. You definitely need to be calculated, but you also need to work on your spiritual side. You need to strengthen your spirit, because if you don't, you're gonna be dead inside. You're gonna be dead inside, and I know I sound ridiculous. I know it's
coming out too hard. It seems like it's coming out harsh, but I mean, it's a reality. You need to work on yourself to be the best version of yourself. So, I mean, obviously, you have to just keep working on it, and it is. I feel like, I mean, I never believed in spirituality until recently, so. It's a new thing for me.
It is, yeah,
and I mean, it is hard to work on it.
It's not just like
it doesn't mean I don't,
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, and it's something that I encourage everybody to do. Now, look, I don't think we've ever since the inception of this podcast, I don't think we've ever actually really defined what we do, and so I kind of want to go ahead and do that right now. Basically, what we want to do with this podcast, with this program, is motivate you in every way possible through our actions. The only way we know how. We don't know any other way except for just living our lives and reporting it to you and showing you what works and what doesn't. that's the simple premise of our podcast. I think it's practical. I think it's personal, and I think it's honest. So this is what we do. We live our lives.
I like it.
Yeah, we live our lives. We see what works and what doesn't, and we report it to you honestly. That's what this is about. And then you can take this information however you see fit and utilize it for yourself, or you could discard it however you feel like. But yeah.
So, benefits of being mentored. So obviously, you gain practical advice from simple scenarios to more difficult scenarios, like how to manage money, how to make the right choices.
Yeah.
Versus worry about the next party.
Oh yeah, what is with that? What? Yeah, like that's the thing. Okay, I don't spend a lot of time with people. Like the only people I really spend time with are just my close friends, my jiu-jitsu community, and you guys, like my family. So I don't really have that many friends. So are there still people out there that that live for the weekend?
I mean, didn't we go to a bar like last week? You saw those people that do that every day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a fun night. By the way,
that was a fun night.
It's probably not gonna happen for a while.
Yeah,
again,
it's gonna be a long time before that happens again. But
take a cheat day.
Yeah,
have some fun.
Yeah, and I did not feel bad at all that whole night. Any other time prior to having accomplished my goals, I would have in that moment I would have probably still had a good time, but somewhere in the back of my head I would be thinking, oh fuck, like there's something I should be doing better than this. Like that time, that was the first time in a long time where I went out with my friends to have a beer and then more beer, and then saying to myself, I feel good where I'm at. I'm enjoying myself and I have nothing to worry about. It's a good feeling. It's a good feeling to have, and I have a couple more of those days lined up. But yeah, and it's just.
I mean, like I feel like I've seen all those people there before.
Yeah, and you could tell some of those people that are just living for the weekend. Don't live for the weekend. Like, even though for example, like I myself have a normal job, I don't feel like I'm living for the weekend. I'm still, very much enjoying myself. I'm enjoying my life. I'm enjoying the things that I do. Because even though I have, like I said, I have a normal job, I pursue the things that I love to pursue. And I don't waste my time.
So you get to you get to not, by being mentored, you get to make or look into decisions that you do. So your mentor has been through shit too, obviously, and hopefully if it's a good mentor, he's guiding you through what you should be doing to get to where you want to go. So your mentor has been through all the stuff, or a lot of the stuff that you're probably gonna go through. So I mean, there's a lot of questions that he can answer there, and just guidance is it's a big deal, dude. I've never had like I mean I've always had you to like just ask quick questions about certain things in life, but for my own future, we all want to do different things.
We all do different things, and the other thing is I don't have all the answers.
Exactly. And as a kid growing up, I always thought you did, because you're the person I hung out with the most. So I thought you were like, all.
Yeah, and I was back when I was a kid, when I was young, I was an arrogant shit. So there possibly, I mean, off the top of my head, I can't remember, but maybe there were some instances where I probably bullshitted you. I probably lied to you.
Yeah.
I probably pretended to know what you were asking me, not knowing jack shit. Of course, that time has come and gone. I'm no longer that guy anymore. But yeah, for sure, because I think you and I are a little bit closer in age. Not too close. Like
we're like 6 years apart.
Yeah, but our younger brother, he's almost a decade younger than me. So I think with the information I gave you I think was a little more muddled than the information I gave.
So you probably
him.
gave him better information.
Way better information, because at that point I had already really experienced certain things, and I reported to him. I said, hey, look, these are the mistakes I made. Don't do this. Do something different than this.
To be honest, before I met these people, like, I had basic goals, just like, do this, do that during the year. But I always put off looking for my future, for my actual future, just because I didn't want to think about it. I'm like, that's so far away.
That's dangerous.
Exactly, it's so dangerous because I was doing that for so long, and I'm lucky. I mean, like, I'm only 22, and I caught that early. I know people that are still doing that on their like, they're like fucking 30, 40. Like, that's sketchy to have that mentality at this age or in any age, really. But putting it off to the next day so you can go party, or you can go, play video games, watch a movie, go watch Netflix. Don't do that. If you notice yourself doing that for like an entire week, or like that's all you're looking forward to is getting home and putting your goals away, or like you're not even thinking about your goals because you're scared of thinking about your goals. That's kind of the mentality that I had before I met these people, and they're just, it's like a puzzle piece. I'm piecing myself together to know what I want to do with the future.
Piecing myself together.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're humans. We're imperfect. We're gonna fall. We're gonna have our shortcomings. But yeah, as long as you are willing to take a look at yourself honestly, it's gonna make things a lot easier. I think that's the thing that a lot of people aren't willing to do, is look at themselves honestly.
Yeah,
they think, and it's a dangerous way of looking at things. Because that's what I was doing.
I was doing that for a while too, like a very long time.
Yeah, and I was ignoring the signs, for a while, and I decided. I think the one decision that changed everything for me was when I decided to drop everything and just pursue jiu-jitsu, because that simplified everything so much, and it gave me clarity and said, okay, well, I'm just gonna do jiu-jitsu, and then hopefully down the line I'll start figuring things out, because then literally had nothing else to do but jiu-jitsu. And so that kind of helped me take a step back and go, okay, well, my physical form is me physically, I'm doing this. What are some of the other things that I need to work on in life? Well, I wasn't doing well financially. Like, I wasn't disciplined, and I thought to myself, all right, well, if I want to move forward in life, I need to, take a step back and look at myself honestly. Well, this is me being honest. And so, and you saw you witnessed it. It's like he
changed within 5 months.
Yeah, I had a clear vision. I had that feeling of like, I can't wait to be debt free, and this is it. I'm glad it happened this way, because I learned by actually going through it, not from just reading about it. I went through the whole process, and there's people I personally know who wish they were in my position, because they wish they were debt free and they wish they could pursue the things they thoroughly love without having major repercussions in their lives. Like, I can freely pursue jiu-jitsu now, and I don't really have that many many repercussions. Obviously I'm still working on stuff that I need to work on, but this is just the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, when I felt that was pretty much monk mode. Mm-hmm. That's when I was like, what am I doing with my life? Mm-hmm. Like I said, that's like that holy shit moment, and I'm so glad I had it that early in life, So when I had that, I dropped everything. Good. I was just literally going to the gym, climbing, and chilling out. Not chilling at home. I was like, when I was at home, I was either cooking or reading. Mm-hmm. Just not doing any other bullshit activities.
Yeah, and it's so funny, because everybody, you go on, I don't have any social media. I don't have Instagram, but like back when I did, like, I would go on people's pages, and like, I'd see everybody having a great time, and constantly trying to make their lives more exciting by adding more and more and more stuff in their lives. you know? And it's like, that's not how it works. You add more stuff, it complicates things more. You want to simplify everything. I myself have a very simple life, but I love it. I've said it before on this podcast. You know, I love my schedule. I go to work, and then I just go train jiu-jitsu or go lift weights, you know, and that's basically my daily life, and I couldn't ask for anything else.
You know what's funny? You're happy, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people would say that you're not happy because you're not out there partying. Or you're not out there.
That's weird.
Isn't that weird?
That is so
you're like,
weird.
Dude, you're wasting your life because you're not partying.
You're not living.
Yeah.
You're not. Yeah. I'm like, that's strange that there are people that think that way.
Yeah.
They think partying and going to the hottest clubs in town is the end all be all. That's when you know you're.
That's
gonna
probably that one sign that shows that you have to work on yourself when you're out, when you're looking for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably that one signal that you're just like, I need to work on my spirituality, or
mm-hmm.
like I need to just do something meaningful with my life,
mm-hmm.
just because once you realize that you're living for the weekend, you realize that you're just not
you're wasting. You're withering away. You are withering away, literally, and it just. Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that, because it's hilarious, because if you really, you take my life and you look at my life and what I do, on the outside looking in, it may seem pretty boring, and it may seem, not the most exciting thing. Well, not for me. It's the opposite. And of course, that's my general life. Of course, there's always things that I'm looking forward to doing. Like, for example, I just signed up I'm competing in 2 weeks, so it's not, to me, that's exciting. That to me, I guess, is my getaway, my getting into the hottest club scenario for me is going to a jiu-jitsu tournament and competing. And then that's the other thing, is it's a combat sport. So like, the average person is not good with confrontation. They're not good at what you put the average person in front of another trained individual. It takes a different mentality to be able to just survive a 5-minute round with somebody like that. Doesn't take that much that much mental strain to wait in line to get into a really hot club, and then wait another hour to try and buy 2 drinks that cost $40 each. Like, you're gonna buy that many drinks. I'd rather spend that money and register at a tournament and try and maul people on the mats, all the while having a great time and growing, and
probably remembering the night too.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like I said, my first major tournament last year, I was on top of the world. I came back with a giant medal, and it was like, this feels amazing.
I actually forgot that feeling. I remember my first tournament and second tournament. The one in Vegas was even earlier, but the first one was like, holy shit! It took me this long to realize how much fun this is.
Yeah, this is so. Yeah, and I have another one coming up soon. So like, I have things to look forward to, and of course. In terms of like having fun and stuff like that, I mean, Candy's wedding's coming up. We have a cousin who's getting married, and she owes me $100. She owes me $100, by the way.
Shout out to Candy.
Shout out to Candy. What up? But I think we're gonna wrap this one up. So yeah.
Hope you guys. This one was good.
I think they're all getting really significantly better.
I appreciate you guys. Whoever is listening so far.
Yeah.
We'll keep at it.
Yeah. Let's go.
Until the next one, guys. See you later.
See you later.